It's not the easiest thing, but I have never been able to get the carpet trick to work with actual building pieces. Now, if you can position this on the closest to the wall as you can so that this wall is barely clipping into that, but just so you can barely place it. Like, one more inch in, it wouldn't be placed. One more inch out, and it wouldn't clip like this. You just attach. Catch. Catch. And it'll generally be 4. Now in this situation, you're kind of listening for that. And you just keep going along. You're probably going to misplace something, but usually that will end up above. And of course I'm out of wood. Little things like that is why I always run out of wood. And no. Transfer. And another trick that's in this game that I'm sure someone else has brought it up before, but I haven't seen too much on it. Scrapping non-legendary guns. A lot of YouTube videos I see people leaving guns behind, and I've been wondering, why would you do that? You could be one baseball bat away from being able to build a wall or a floor. Pipe pistols give you tons and tons of steel, especially given that they're so abundant. Just take them over to the scrapping bench, hit the other button, the correct button, steel and screws, spring steel and screws, gear steel screws, wood, plastic screws, crystals, circuitry, and fiber optics. Now you need I believe it's full scrounger to get all this. Somewhere, scrapper. Need to get both levels of that to get all the materials you can. You can salvage rare components like circuitry, nuclear material, fiber optics when scrapping weapons and armors. First one is waste not, want not. You can salvage uncommon things. So if you get both of those, go into your workbench. Things that have been upgraded, you get some of the components back, like circuitry. That's just a screw and plastic. If it's not upgraded, you just get basic materials. Screws, gears, aluminum, wood, copper, and steel. Some of the rare components there. Steel and screws. Steel. So if you want to build a lot of things out of steel, you can get lots of steel. You can get copper, nuclear material, crystals, silver. Here's a long list. Aluminum, screws, rubber, springs, fiber optics, circuitry, crystals. Scrap enough of these, you get lots of those materials for upgrading your stuff later on. Also works for armor pieces. Armor pieces you don't intend to use. Unfortunately, I've kept way too many of them. If you're missing leather pieces for upgrading your stuff, metal parts scrap into steel. Raider parts usually scrap into raider. Or scrap into raider. Oops. Yeah, scrap it into a raider. And then shoot him in the face and get more of his stuff. Raider parts scrap into steel. Raider leathers you can sell cheaply if you have a store in your settlement. So if you're upgrading your armor pieces and it calls for leather, all you have to do is scrap these. Each one will give you one piece of leather, each metal part gives you one piece of steel. And if you're quick enough and it doesn't do that, doesn't really take that long. In case you're wondering, that right there is why I want to be able to lock items to the thing and ignore clipping. There's no way for me to close that gap, because I'd have to clip through the wall and go out to here. Can't even place a half floor there. Once you scrap all the items, you get more steel and more wood and more various materials, and you can keep building. Not a lot, granted, but you have more than you would if you just went around buying it. And as you can see, if you put those shack upper floors in the roof, it looks a little less like a shack in which you get rained on. There's without it, and there's with it, and it's clearly in the roof. You'll never be able to manipulate these things again, so once you place it, that's it. It's up there forever. But since you can lock it to the surface, you can place it. No one needs a broken radio. And this is on a PS4, so I'm not using mods or commands or anything like that. Locks on, just goes up there. And you just keep doing that until you have it covered as much as you want. And one last little tip, if you have your shop's built-in sanctuary, or wherever you're doing your business at for the most part, and you store tons and tons of junk in your workbench, to the point where you lag the machine out, you can take unwanted items, Like, let's say 37 assault gas masks. And if you weren't interested in just scrapping them, let's take 13 dirty army fatigues. Get one more thing here. 5 hazmats, 162 harnesses. I have a use for those, so I'll only take 60 something. Let's go 70. Let's sell a hazmat suit. Go all the way down to Raider leathers, the most useless junk in the game. Get rid of the road leathers, the sack hoods, sack hoses. Just go with that for now. Quite right, Cogsworth. Soppy for the old days.
Crop's coming in pretty good. Looking to buy?
You have the general trader here.
I've got a few minutes to browse.
Great.
You'd clean out his junk if you need stuff for building or upgrading. And sell him items. Or if you want bullets.
Not having to worry about the Institute anymore.
Sure it is.
Hey
Shut
there.
up.
Looking for a weapon?
No, looking
I'll
for
take a look.
bullets.
Sure.
Here's what I've got.
You've got garbage. I've never seen a sanctuary guy have a legendary anything, ever. You can buy those. Let's say buy fusion core. Wait, is that 100%? Yeah. Buy the expensive stuff. Oh, let's say 308s, just for the hell of it. So 45s and 44s. Don't really need the 50 caliber. I haven't been using that much. Probably buy the 10 mil just for the hell of it. Now it's 4,000 in. You could sell the bullets you don't use, or you could also sell this apparel that you've picked up off dead bodies. Just careful not to sell your stuff. And this will slow down the game a lot since I am way over encumbered. But since it's right down the street, and that's why you don't want to sell your stuff. Cancel that one. There's at least a whole second of between me pushing the button and it actually doing something. I never use the mines, so I always sell those. Guess that's it for mines and grenades. Then the MISC. Most people leave these behind, but they're at least 1 cap each and weigh nothing. Folders, 7 caps right there. You can sell any partially used fusion cores. You can sell mini nukes, they sell for a lot. If you don't use missiles, sell the missiles. I have thousands of fusion cells, I will sell those. And in general, you get the idea. That's all for this one. Have a good day. Later.